Totally fine. Hello, everybody. It is 8 o'clock Central on Thursday night here for our final Beer Choir virtual happy hour of the summer. We are done after this one. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but we are so excited. We not only get the amazing Sarah Langworthy with us. How are you doing, Sarah?
Doing okay. How are you?
Fantastic. We get Mr. John Stafford. He is the man. John, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Okay, well, what is everybody drinking? First off, Sarah, what are you having to drink?
I have the Bent Pedal Black. It's getting cold outside, and so not cold, fall outside, which means it's time to start bringing in the darker beers again. Yeah.
How it goes. John, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm from Kansas City, so I'm drinking Kansas City beer. So I drinking Boulevard Brewing Company's Pale Ale.
There it is.
So if you have any Boulevard in Minneapolis area, check it out. There you go. Check it out. It's great beer.
We do have Boulevard up here quite a bit. Actually, Boulevard last week or 2 weeks ago on, which is great. I am having from Toppling Goliath. This is about the only Iowa thing that I kind of like to hold up and be excited about. Toppling Goliath's Dolphin Sparkles. This is a double IPA. So I'm drinking a nice hearty beer tonight, which is good because it's been a crazy long week. John, you said this has been a long week. You doing okay, man?
Doing well. Just busy. Teaching on campus, teaching online. I'm doing everything. I'm doing hybrid, doing both.
So, wow.
That's a lot.
I love it. Well, we always start with a little bit of a toast to all the things Beer Choir, and we sing the Beer Choir theme song. So let me do that. Here we go, everybody. We're going to sing together. Everybody joining me in song. Here's our first note. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. So bottoms up, cheers. Let's sing while drinking beer. One more time, everybody. Let's see if I can get this a little bit bigger. I don't know what is going on with my brain tonight. Here we go, everyone. And the choir that sings while drinking beer. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. So bottoms up, cheers. Let's sing while drinking beer. Prost, everyone. Prost. How you doing tonight? We're so glad to have you around with us. It's awesome to see everybody. Let us know how you're doing in chat and what you're drinking tonight. We've got Toppling Goliath from Iowa, and we've got Bent Paddle Black Ale from Duluth, Minnesota, and John from Kansas City is drinking Boulevard out of his Beer Choir steel pint, and we love it. Well done. It's nice to see everybody today. So, John, you mentioned you were from Kansas City. That begs our first chat question for you tonight. If you've been to Kansas City, everybody out there, if you've been to Kansas City, you've had barbecue. What is your favorite barbecue joint in Kansas City? I'm going to give you at least three names to think about.
Sure.
Gates, Bryant's, and Joe's, formerly Oklahoma Joe's. And some people might want to throw in Q39. I don't know. Somebody just going to throw that in there. John, your favorite barbecue in the place where you live for a decade now?
Well, for those out of those four, it's definitely Joe's. Joe's, you get the best bang for your buck in terms of meat, in terms of sauce, in terms of sides. That's the best bang for your buck. That's the best quality in terms of everything between those four. Those other places are fine. It's just my preference is Joe's. But if you come to Kansas City, if you're a historian, you'll want to go to Arthur Bryant's, the original location. You'll want to go to Gates, just because those two places were two of the foundational places where Henry Perry, who's the father of barbecue of Kansas City, who started the whole thing about almost 100 years ago, his predecessors were the beginnings of Arthur Bryant's and Gates. And so because of that, if you're really into history, wherever you travel, those are two places you want to check out. But in terms of the best places, there's a couple places. Q39 is great if you're really into fine dining barbecue. The only thing with Q39 is that you don't get as much portions as you would at a
little small portions. They are tasty.
Small portions, but it's very tasty,
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on what you want. If you want fine dining barbecue, you go to Q39. If you want the traditional stuff, you can go to Gates or Arthur Bryant's. if you want the best out of the 4, Joe's is the best.
Is there a hole in the wall that is different from those 4 that you would like to recommend?
Well, Joe's is cool because Joe's is actually a gas station. So there's 3 locations in Joe's in the city, but in the metro part of the city. But the original location is actually a gas station on the Kansas side of the border, not the Missouri side, actually. And then also my favorite spot, really currently my favorite spot is in Kansas City, Kansas. It's just across the river from downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Right. And it's a place called Slaps Barbecue. And that place, it's called Slaps Barbecue. And then that place is wonderful. And so great sweet sauce, a hot sauce, and I
love it.
And we're known for burnt ends, actually. So you get some of the best burnt ends in the city there. Joe's and Slaps make the best burnt ends in the city, and then they have great ribs there. And then also one other spot too that just opened up called Chef Jay's, that is in the West Bottoms of the city, one of the districts in downtown KC, where it used to be the old stockyards from like decades ago. And so there's this new barbecue place that just opened up over the summer called Chef Jay's Barbecue. Okay. But they make like bacon burnt ends. And so it's so it's pretty much smoked pork belly. That's what it is. So yeah. So if you want to eat some pork or some beef, you come to KC, and then so
Chef Jay's. Okay, new places to try. I got to do it.
Yeah. We got to come down, Adam.
I know. We got to get down there.
It's there. You can come too. So.
all this COVID stuff is just killing us. I mean, we'd be traveling. I got all this stuff I'm going to ask you very shortly, John. But this is kind of old home week. John and I met a long time ago when he brought his wonderful choirs from Kansas City Community College up to have a little bit of an educational outreach experience when I was singing with Contus, which was also interesting because his former student, Chris Foss, was in Contus at the time and now does a lot of beer choir stuff with us. And John went to school with another person who's been on virtual happy hours this year, Aaron Humble. So that's fantastic. Aaron was on when he was working with the Apollo group. And then also wrapped into this, John is good friends with the Godfather, Michael Engelhart. So it's all coming together tonight. It's fantastic. Old Home Week. We're so excited to have John here, the Director of Choral Activities at Kansas City Community College, doing some great stuff. You got some new stuff out, John, new charts for the jazz choir world. What else are you working on?
Most of my work is either arranging or conducting, and so I have I don't know, it's an up-and-coming vocal jazz group. We're doing really well, called The Standard, and then so we performed at some national conventions, like at National ACDA in Minneapolis, and then also at we performed at the National Conference Jazz Educators Network 2019 in Reno, Nevada, and so we also performed at National Conference at National Association NAFME, so National Association for Music Education in Dallas. That was in 2019 as well. So like this year and a half, we performed at 3 national conventions. It's kind of a crazy time. And so
you're doing great work with those students down there. Yeah. And it's a jazz choir. The Standard is a jazz choir, correct? And then you've also got classical vocalists down there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. And so like we use classical music as a foundation. So we offer a full tuition scholarship for students to do voice. So if they're Kansas is a good choral state. And so there's a ton of high schools with good choirs. And so we get students from pretty much the east side of Kansas and some from KC Metro as well. And so we offer a 3-year scholarship that's full tuition. And so students come to us. We have a small program, but we're really active. Students come to us, and so they can study. They can take voice lessons. They can be a traditional choir. And then selected students can be in one of our 2 vocal jazz ensembles. We have a training vocal jazz ensemble, and we have our top ensemble called The Standard. And then, we're just really active. So we're in 2 weeks from, well, really less than 2 weeks, on September 15th, where Standard's coming out with a single, coming out with a new single. And then we have an album that came out in 2018. And then probably May or June 2021, we're coming out with our second full album. So
right on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got to share with our beer choir folks. They would love to hear it. That's so fantastic. They would absolutely love to see it. And you are doing some unbelievable work down there. I'm so excited. Now, did you have a jazz background in high school choirs at all?
No. It's funny you asked that because I got into music quite late. I'm not much of an instrumentalist. I play a little bit of piano, but I'm not that great. And then, my background is what I do the best, I feel like, is conducting and composing or arranging, really. And then I couldn't even read music till I was 17. And so I started reading. I took theory when I was 17. And then within my senior year of high school, I started with What's Will C, and then we got all the way through 12th tone. And so,
holy cow!
In 1 year. And so, but I really caught on to that. And then, but I've been singing since I was 4. I sung in church choir since I was 4, and I sung through elementary. I sung through K through 12, all 3 colleges I went to. So, I've been singing all my life. And then, it's just after a while, I realized I wanted to go into education, teach college. I wasn't really into high school teaching as much, but I was really interested in teaching college. And, it's just things just fall into place,
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like it does for a lot of us. And so
I hear you. That's fantastic. I grew up in the state of Oregon where jazz choir is big out in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Out there. And we didn't have actually a classical choir in the public high school. So we only had a 0-period jazz choir in high school. So that was my high school experience. I actually kind of did all of the classical choral stuff in a community children's choir that extended through high school. So jazz choir was my high school choir experience. And when you go from that to St. Olaf choir in the span of 2 years, it's like, wait a second, what's happening?
That's amazing. Wow. Oh, just a little FYI, a little tangent. You see Mrs. Stafford in back with me because my wife's a middle school teacher. So she's teaching virtually. So I'm in our basement, in our office in the basement. So if you see Mrs. Stafford behind me, that's my wife. I'm just saying. So, and then
all good. We'll bring everybody into the big beer choir tent. So you guys were just in the newspaper because of an amazing peach cobbler that you and Mrs. Stafford combined on. And the thrust was more butter. Is that right?
Well, she made it. I just gave some ideas. She made it. After she made it, she was like, there could have been more butter. So that's what I put on there. That's all her credit. That's not my credit. I was in the picture trying to look pretty. I don't know.
There you go.
Me. So,
all right, we get to hear John sing here in just a little bit. I'm so excited. I'm going to sing one song real fast. We're going to sing a tune called "I Drink" and get everybody drinking and singing along. This is one where you got to make sure your beer is relatively full, everybody. So this is a tune from a new composer, Ben Ireland, out on the West Coast, and it's called "I Drink." And I'll go along very simply and show you the main chorus. When you get there, you'll be able to sing along. Sounds a little bit like this. I enjoy a tall glass of beer, be it any old day of the week. And it's Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday I drink. And I drink when it's rainy or snowing. And I drink when it's hot to cool off. And when sometimes I need to be social, I drink. I'll sit on this bar stool until I fall off. I adore a fine wine now and then, be it Cabernet or Merlot. If it sounds French, then fetch me the biggest glass you've got. To the top, please, and I'm good to go. To the chorus. And I drink when it's rainy or snowing. And I drink when it's hot to cool off. And when sometimes I need to be social, I drink. I'll sit on this bar stool until I fall off. I appreciate a shot of good whiskey, be it on the rocks or straight up. Make it a single, a double, a triple, or more. Just leave me the bottle, I'm getting messed up. And I drink when it's rainy or snowing. And I drink when it's hot to cool off. And when sometimes I need to be social, I drink. I'll sit on this bar stool until I fall off. And I drink when it's rainy or snowing. And I drink when it's hot to cool off. And when sometimes I need to be social, I drink. I'll sit on this bar stool until I fall off. Prost, everybody! Prost! Awesome singing, everyone. I can hear you out there. I can feel you singing I Drink. That's a new tune, John. We're kind of adding to the beer choir hymnal a little bit as we go.
I see. I didn't know that tune.
Brand new as of this COVID quarantine, I tell you that.
Right.
We got that from that composer at the beginning of June, I think it was. So it's been kind of fun to add in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the way through. So John's going to sing us a tune out of the beer choir hymnal. He's going to sing Ein Prosit. We're going to make sure his German is exquisite. Sarah went to Valparaiso University, so she kind of has German like in the blood a little bit. So Sarah's going to make sure that our German is all good all the way through.
That doesn't mean I know how to speak it very well, but sure.
Well, sure. I mean, that might be how it is. It's okay. It's totally fine.
All right, you ready? So, Ein Prosit. So, 1, 2. Ein Prosit, Gemütlichkeit. Ein Prosit, der Gemütlichkeit. Und Prost bei sofort. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. A toast, raise a toast to finest health and life. A toast, raise a toast to finest health. Finest health and life. Sing it, oi, sing it, oi, Prost, Prost. Prost!
Yes, sir! Clink 'em and drink 'em, everybody! Absolutely Prost!
Sorry, I had a hiccup right in the middle.
That's amazing.
Right on the high note, too. I don't know how that happens. That's how it works. It's okay. Last time I sang the Finlandia hymn, we're going to end with the Finlandia hymn right before we sing beer choir theme song one more time. Last time I sang the Finlandia hymn, I absolutely just destroyed the high D. I cracked left and right. Poor Steve Zilke from Oregon State is our guest that night, and he is just done, like crying bad, like, oh my god, in this middle of this thing, this guy cracks on a high D. Come on now. Hey, Katie Crawford.
That's funny.
Right, Katie Crawford.
You're a baritone, Adam? You're a baritone, right?
I'm a baritone that is slowly sinking into the bass world because I've not been singing enough during COVID.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm a baritone as well. So yeah.
It's okay. A lot of this, too much of this, and not enough of this means baritones go to basses.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, we got a shout out to a lot of folks here. Katie Crawford, another Kansas City. Katie's awesome. Katie, nice to see you. And Brian Jens, welcome back from. Well, maybe you're still on the road, but it's great to see you, Brian. Brian has a great idea that he passed around today on Facebook called "All Ales for ALS." If you're a Metro Twin Cities person, that you can go find that down in Burnsville. They will contribute. If you buy some beer, they will contribute to the ALS challenge there. So thank you, Brian, for all of that stuff. Katie says, "What's up?" I think she's talking to you, John. What is up, John? What's going on?
That's my girl. Katie's awesome. Love her. So,
fantastic. Hey, even my mom's chiming in. Good, great fun tonight. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. Notice she's in there with the duck. Yep, that's right. Puddles is there with my mom.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
All right, John. So COVID happens, and your season is kind of shifted. What is the surprising best thing that happened to you during this whole COVID business? It's been crazy, but what's the best thing that happened to you?
I mean, it's just nice to spend time with the family, especially March through May, where everything, like in Kansas City, everything was shut down. It was full quarantine those 2 months. And so in the middle of March through the middle of May, it was like 2 full months where like there wasn't any gig. I mean, I would leave the house once a week because my church, since the middle of March, I work at, my part-time job is Community Christian Church in Kansas City in the Plaza District. And it's a significant place because it's a Lake Frank Floyd Wright building. And so I'm the choir director there. And so we've been doing it since the middle of March. Right when COVID happened, we started doing live stream services. We were already set up to do live stream.
Nice.
So you can go you can go on YouTube any Sunday morning, and we're doing our live stream service. And so I'm just the hymn leader for that for right now. And then, but other than that, though, it's just staying home with the family and everything. It was just nice to because I just have a busy schedule. And so sometimes I'm home and sometimes I'm not, and then, that's where it is. So.
That's awesome.
The family, yeah.
That's great. I totally agree. It's been nice. Sarah, I haven't got this answer out of you yet either. So what has been your surprise awesome thing during all of this COVID stuff?
I mean, I think I would echo what John said, like having my husband home. Normally he's working, 8 to 10 hour days. And so I don't get to see him a lot. And now it's like, oh, you want to go for a walk and have some lunch? Okay, great. Like take a break in the middle of the day. And
that's exactly what we did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been great.
Yeah, it really has.
So that makes perfect sense. I agree. It's been so nice to spend time. I do joke a little bit that I've got a 6-year-old John, and he's extremely active, and we really need to get that kid into some sort of a camp. But it's like I've been, we've got this very nice kind of like backyard that has enough space for him to run. And I swear there are days where I actually need to push him out the door and lock it behind him and just tell him to go run for 2 hours. You have this problem with kids.
I do. I have a 3-year-old that we should do that with. So I have a daughter that's 3. All she wants to do is run. And she's the best thing ever. So
I'm impressed. I am totally jealous.
Yeah. She's awesome. That's my girl. So yeah.
Okay, so questions for both of you. So we haven't played some of these choral geek games a little bit. Okay, here's the question. I'll start with Sarah first, and then John, you can answer next. But okay, a beautiful melody or an amazing tonal cluster. What would you prefer, Sarah?
What's my fave?
To listen to.
Probably tone cluster.
Tone cluster.
Yeah, if it's done well. If it's like hand on piano, then less so. But if it's, if it's like artistically done in the context of larger thing, I don't know. I like a good sort of mysterious, weird thing occasionally. So
all right, we'll see if John can break the tie. Last time we had a virtual happy hour, Steve Zilke said tone cluster, but he was preferable to a little bit of a melody too. So,
sure.
John, melody, a beautiful melody, or a gorgeous tone cluster?
Honestly, I'm leaning towards tone cluster, but to be honest, my answer is neither. My answer is we're talking choir, right? This is
sure, or music in general, but yes,
So if we're talking choir, my answer is tone quality. The first thing I listen for in a choir is what's the sound. I want to know. You could tell within like a few seconds if that conductor really thought about what is the tone of the choir, what it should be, not just about intonation, because everybody focuses on intonation, and for everybody, intonation is number one, which is fine. But I want to hear choirs that focus on the actual sound, their actual sound. And so regardless of what that sound is, whether it has vibrato, whether or not, or whether if it's whether they sing with some cover, or if they're more quieter, it doesn't matter. I just want to hear it's this focus on maybe me because I'm an academic, maybe because I've been doing this so long, then I'm super picky about this stuff. But I want to hear a choir that has paid attention to the sound of the ensemble. And so that's most important to me, because when I hear a choir and they don't do that, they could be perfectly in tune, but I lose interest quickly. So, and that's
okay, fair enough. So, Sarah, this is a piece as a singer you can think about answering a little bit differently, but this might be starting for our conductor friends. So, John, what is a great piece that you enjoy watching a choir get for the first time? So, you listen, you put the piece in front of them, and maybe you kind of go through it as a choir a little bit. And then when the light bulb comes on, what is the piece or piece style that is the most fun for you to watch the light bulb come on your choir?
Oh, that's a hard question. Are you talking about choral standards?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what Steve's answer was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
He said it was great to watch his students, especially at the college level, get fully understand a Bach motet, because they're a little different, when you take a look at it on the page, it doesn't reveal itself, right? But you start bringing out the layers. Okay, so think about same vein, could go into something more that you're doing with like the standard. But what's a great piece or something to watch the kids kind of get for the first time?
Well, first of all, with Bach motets, I'm not an early music person. I've studied a lot of early music, but that's just not what I do. That's not my area. But in terms of Bach motets, that is wonderful music. I sing.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. And so the first Bach motet, that is a tour de force. That is like that. I sung that my senior year of college. Sigmund Ben Heron, and oh man, that's just like that. To this day, I haven't sung that piece in 20 years, but I can sing the whole bass part because like I know it so well.
You have to.
So, and to answer your question, you know what? I'm really into teaching students. I'm really into American history, and I'm really into teaching students not only African American spirituals and the aspect behind it, but I'm also interested in teaching them sacred harp music and so shape note singing, and so I really enjoy that stuff. And so I really enjoy teaching American folk music. And then
American folk stuff.
And lastly, there's an interesting thing too about spirituals too. When people teach spirituals, sometimes people teach spirituals, and because they're rhythmic and because they're bluesy, and it's a harmonic content that students recognize, that they really get into it, and they get into it as if like it's very entertaining and it's very energetic. But the spiritual comes from a much darker place in our history from that, and so it's this idea of not what real students really get interested into, but it's about teaching this American music and really telling them talking about like, where does it really come from? And so, and when you do that, sometimes when I teach a spiritual, I just teach it and I see students' reaction and they love it. Say like, especially if it's like something rhythmic, like Moses Hogan. And so, well now say Stacey Gibbs is kind of similar, but not quite the same, but I grew up, when I was growing up, it was Moses Hogan, and so students have a different reaction. I notice students have different reaction to Moses Hogan music, and then when you go into the historical aspect, you still get the music portion, but because they know the history now after you talked about it. The presentation of that music was slightly different. It was closer to what it really should be.
So when the light bulb comes on with like the history and the drama of the African American spiritual, it's really quite amazing to watch as a teacher, huh?
That is true. Yeah, that is correct. But also, it's the same thing with Bach. What did Bach write? What did Bach write for? Bach wrote for the church, right? And so you don't sing Bach the same way you sing the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. I mean, in like everything, every piece of music, you have to really perform it well. I feel like if you really want to get academic about it, to perform it well and really respect the history of that music, I mean, you wouldn't have the same tone, even same tone quality with sacred harp music as you would with a Bach motet. I mean, they just come from two different places. So why would you sing with the English choral tone if that's your foundation, if that's what you are known for,
right?
Or if that's what you've studied? Why would you sing with that tone with the American spiritual? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I think that's fantastic. That thinking about the light bulb coming on, Sarah, do you have a favorite piece as a singer that when the light bulb comes on, it's like, wow, I really gotta get into this?
I mean, I like Bach because it makes my brain happy, and so like when it really clicks in with all the other parts and it really starts to dance and you have that lightness, like that's really fun. I would say the other, it's not a piece, but sort of area of music for me is Russian. I really, really love that. Like when you actually allow yourself to get into the depth of Russian music and of the sound of Russian music and just kind of let it go. I love that feeling. It's great.
Oh, can I ask a quick question? What's your favorite Russian work?
Oh gosh, I don't know. The problem is that they all kind of blend together for me.
That's true. That is true because it's all a similar sound. Because most of the Russian music that we do in our genre, that we do in our field, most of the music that we do comes from it's religious music, it's sacred music.
Yeah.
And so how often do you hear Russian secular music? You know,
Right.
yeah.
Not-
I mean,
not
you don't
very
hear, yeah, that's not what we usually do. And so
Yeah.
like for me, I mean, a lot of people would say like Rachmaninoff Vespers, which is wonderful stuff, and then like I love singing that stuff. But I mean, for me, you know, my number one core work of all time is the Schnicke Concerto.
Whoa! Really?
Yeah. And then number one all time, and he was a German Jew, you know, and so like I mean, he's not 100% Russian, you know, and then but like the Schnicke Concerto, the fourth movement, number one all time.
Wow.
That changed my life.
That is amazing to hear. I have long loved that piece of music and never have heard a great recording. You know, I've never had a chance to sing it, but I've never heard like a really like get your entire body into it recording.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, the original recording of that, I don't remember the choir. It was a Russian choir that sung it, and I don't remember the name of the group. But like, there's a recording of it of a Russian group doing it. It's in D major, but when you listen to it, everything sounds low.
Yeah.
Like you hear the root and the fifths in tune. It's in D major, so the roots and fifths in tune, but all the F sharps sound low, and it's that typical Russian Eastern European low third. You know, that doesn't sound in tune to me because I was always trained to treat thirds high, and so yeah. So anyway,
interesting.
But, yeah, it's very interesting. So somebody put nothing like Rachmaninoff Vespers, and I agree with that. It's a wonderful work. I've sung the whole thing. It's fantastic. But that Schnicke Concerto, the Schnicke Concerto changed my life.
I got see now I get to go listen to that. Go home and listen to the Concerto for Choir by Alfred Schnittke. It's fantastic. It's amazing. Shout out to some other Kansas City ensembles, Kansas City Chorale, Katie Crawford. They have two amazing recordings of the Rachmaninoff Vespers All Night Vigil. And the piece that Sarah and I have sung in its entirety is the Gretcheninoff Passion Week, which is fantastic. And it's amazing. So kudos to Kansas City Chorale for doing some amazing, and Phoenix Chorale for doing amazing stuff there too. So excellent work.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, well, let's do a little bit more singing. I've got a couple other questions for John, and we'll get to those in a little bit. But now we're going to sing a song that's a tune that everybody knows. It's the tune to Auld Lang Syne. But what happened was somebody turned it into a slightly different thing, and they put the text is called Good Beer all over the place. So it sounds a little bit like this. We're going to start in this key. That might be F. It'll be close. We'll call it good. But you can pick a line, and everybody go together. We'll take it in nice, slow tempo, but a lot of feeling. Grab your beer and a little bit of beer sloshing as we do this here. Very simple. And a 1, 2, 3. Good beer, good beer, good beer, good beer. You can never have enough beer. Good beer, good beer, good beer, good beer. We love good beer. From stouts to lagers, IPAs, to Belgians, Pilsners too. We love our bubbly best friend. We love good beer. Not too bad, right? You can kind of do a very easy little deal on the good beer. It makes a lot of sense. I'm drinking a different beer right now. I've got this crazy ska tropical hazy beer. I'm on to beer number 2. So we like good beer. Good singing, everybody. Prost. Oh, very nice. Kansas City Beer Company.
Yeah, I came tonight with all the KC beer. One of my other favorite, we have a lot of breweries in town, just like Minneapolis. And so one of my favorite breweries in town is not only Boulevard, which is the biggest, most popular brewery, but like we also have a company in town called KC Beer Company. And so KC Beer Company, of course, is German. It's German beer, and they come out with a variety of stuff. And it's really one of the best breweries. Besides Boulevard, it's one of the best breweries in the city. So
you can go down to the KC Beer Company and sing Beer Hair and Ein Prost all night long, right?
Right. And when you go to their beer hall on both Boulevard and KC Beer Company, they have German style beer halls when you come visit the city. So,
we had the saddest day the other day, John. One of the big giants in Minneapolis decided to close indefinitely. Surly Brewing Company shut down.
Just their beer hall. Just their beer hall.
Just the beer hall.
I know that. Wow.
So the distribution is still going, but right now the giant palatial resort that they built for a beer hall is completely closed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little, I don't know what to say.
Yep, we lost Adam.
Oh
no, where'd he go?
I can take a picture of him looking just like that.
That is an excellent part.
Place for him to I got it, Sarah.
Excellent. I love it. So, John,
I wish we didn't lose Adam like that. Oh goodness, I don't know what to tell everybody else. So
the funny part about this, John, is that Adam did not have internet all day today. And so we were like, how are we going to do beer choir? And then about an hour ago, he was like, it's back and it's working fine. So of course this happens. Of course it does.
Unbelievable. So
we will continue. We'll continue on without him, and eventually maybe he will join back in. We'll see.
Okay. So any other questions you want to ask, or what other stuff I should talk about, or I don't know?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. He had a bunch of different questions in here. And I guess from sort of like a lot of people I know are kind of dealing with the whole back to school situation. And you mentioned you're teaching in person for the moment. Like, how did you plan a fall semester kind of with all of this up in the air at this point? How did that look?
Oh, well, it's quite interesting. I teach at a community college. I teach at a small community college. The population of the college is roughly 6,000 students. That's including online. So, so it's a smaller community college. They've had a history of having a strong music program, a well-funded music program. And so anyway, so to go along with that, how we did it was we have a really progressive president that was really out in the forefront with the whole COVID situation from the very beginning. He not only between March and May, him and the college administration, they came up with a plan for employees to go back to work for the summer. They came up with a summer plan, and then they came up with a fall plan. That's this huge 20+ page PDF, yeah. And so, but they really figured everything. They really thought about everything. And so we just had a really good college. First of all, we had a shout out to my school. My school's Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And so shout out to my school because they really came up with a good COVID plan. And then because I follow that plan now, and it's very helpful throughout teaching the semester more than I thought it would be. And so first of all, they came up with a good plan. Second of all, at our college, we're doing a mixture. They gave every faculty member a choice of what they wanted to do. If they wanted to teach online, teach virtually, which means you meet your students online over Zoom at that particular time, teach as an online class, or teach like a blended class, like a hybrid class, And so we offer all four of those different options. Administration asked all full-time faculty how they wanted to teach those classes. We actually had a plan in place in June. And so the music department, we're a small department, but we're super active. And so there's only 3 full-timers, and we have about 15 adjuncts. And so the full-time music faculty, we all teach on campus. And we have some adjuncts teach on campus, but 2/3 of our adjuncts teach totally online or virtually. And then, but we talked as full-timers, we talked to all of our adjuncts to see what they were comfortable with doing. And so I feel like our school got it right because all the faculty were asked, what are you comfortable doing? And we made adjustments based towards that. And so as the full-time faculty, I'm the primary vocal person. We have a primary instrumental person, and our third full-time faculty member is actually versed in both, even though, and so because he's a pianist, but he's also a vocalist. So, and then and he's proficient at both. So we all decided that we wanted to teach on campus as much as possible, as much as they'll let us teach on campus, and so that's what we are doing right now. And so overall, things are going pretty well. I'm not going to lie to you. Just this week, the reason part of my week was so rough because we did have a COVID exposure case in one of my ensembles. And so I canceled some rehearsals this week. And so it took a lot of time to get that person tested and see. And I even quarantined some students for a few days from class, things of that nature, And so you had to miss some rehearsals and things of that nature. So I think the key to teaching during a COVID time is that if you teach on campus, student safety has to come first and foremost. And then also, you really have to adjust your plan.
Yeah.
You can't just stick to your plan. It's not like normal teaching where you just stick to your plan and the plan is the Bible, And so you really have to adjust whatever happens, and then you just make it work. Even if you have to adjust some of your curriculum, but you can still offer your students some of the same principles of what the course is about. And so that's really important. And because of realizing this week, I'm actually cutting a little bit of music for this fall semester, just so I know the students are able to perform the music that they have really well and not try to overload them. I also pick repertoire, like in terms of my traditional choir. I split my traditional choir into four. I have a choir of about 55, 60 people.
Okay.
So I split them into 4 different ensembles. And so for a part of the semester, and so I have student leaders running each ensemble, and then my accompanist has a doctorate in choral music and composition. So, my accompanist and I work with all 4 ensembles, and we're just trying to do, and we're just doing choral standards, a lot of a cappella choral sacred standards, like Hikari Toss by Duraflay. We're doing, let's see, what else were we doing? Yeah, If You Love Me, Thomas Tallis, stuff like that. And so we're doing some spirituals, we're doing some Sacred Heart music, because that's just personally what I'm into. But anyway, and so we're trying to perform music that's enjoyable to sing, because that's what students need, And it is a class, but just for them to have an outlet and things of that nature. So we're trying to really mix it up. And we did a lot of different COVID precautions too. The college in our wing of the main building on campus, they have HEPA filters, and then some of the rooms have new HVAC systems. They're actually pumping in more fresh air than last year. They're pumping in more fresh air in the classrooms, but our music department, all the music classrooms, we bought air purifiers so for the classrooms as well. And so we have more air going through, so we have less aerosols hanging in the classroom. So, we sing in masks too. We don't take masks off. We sing in masks, and the students have a choice of what mask they want to sing in. And then we sing, we don't take them off. And it still works. So singing in mass is possible.
Yeah.
You just make them do it. Yeah. And
they may not like it, but
no, they don't like it. Yeah. But they don't complain in front of me either. Yeah. And I never had to say anything. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of they don't complain, because I think, the bulk of our students, they just want the outlet, Mm-hmm. They feel that that's important to them. They just really want the outlet and they want to sing. And it's just kind of, that's what we're doing. We're taking all the precautions. We social distance as much as possible. We have sung in areas where it's only 6 feet only, but we also go outside where we really spread out. We have a performing arts center. We change rooms a lot. And so in most situations, students are 8 to 12 feet apart when they sing. In most situations, there has been a few times based on the classroom that I was able to get, they were 6 feet apart. But the shorter they are from one another, the lighter singing you do. So we're really paying attention to all of those things. And so,
well, that's great to hear. And hey, we have an intruder, an intruder alert. Did your internet die again?
Happened, but oh boy, yes, the internet decided to die. So I'm on my phone. We'll see how long this lasts.
That's all right. I'm just glad to see you. So.
The freeze frame when you froze and left was amazing, and really? So that That is why
I got a
Carrie
picture of it, man.
put it on a t-shirt. So John, we're gonna have to get that from you later because that might be new Beer Choir merch. It was amazing.
Sarah, you should send me your phone number because if I text it to Adam, he might delete it.
All right, exactly. I'll be like, I don't want that on a t-shirt.
Well, geez, this is okay. I guess we're to the point where we gotta go somewhere at some point, right? You know, you gotta move on from stuff here. Oh, brother, what in the world? That was terrible. Like, our entire house just went dark.
Oh no!
Wow.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but we're back now, so I will let Sarah take it away with all. I think we just got maybe 2 last songs to sing. Is that about right, Sarah?
I think that's about right. So, am I taking one for the team and trying to do Finlandia? Is that what's happening?
I'm more than happy to sing Finlandia, but as long
Okay.
as we got to get John singing the Beer Choir theme song, I think that's
I can do that.
So you do Finlandia. Go ahead.
I
right,
can sing a little Finlandia. I can do that. I can't throw it up on the screen, unfortunately.
I got it.
You got it?
I'm looking for it.
Excellent.
It's here somewhere. I'm getting it. I'm looking for it. Oh, where is it?
There it is. Sarah's got it on there.
What number is it?
All right, everybody. We will sing the Finlandia hymn all together. This is a chance to, put a big hug around everybody and wrap your arms around somebody you care about and say thank you for a tough week, but a good week, and continue to do well in the world. So this is how we kind of end our Twin Cities shows, John, and this is a chance to sing along to everybody. I'll sing the top line. You all join me. We'll start right about here. 3, 4. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands of far and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. Second verse, 2, 3, 4. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. Prost, everyone. Thank you for hanging in there with me in my weird internet. I am totally sorry about all this craziness. Before we go and hear John sing the Beer Choir theme song, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in this summer for the virtual happy hours. This is our last one. We're going to be coming back on October 16th as part of the Bachtoberfest with the Bach Society in St. Louis, and we're excited about that. It'll be a kind of a big, giant, hairy event. It'll be awesome. Sarah and I have a lot of stuff going on this fall as we jump into the ACDA of Minnesota Virtual State Conference. Beer Choir will be there as well, part of Bachtoberfest. So lots going on. You can register for the conference if you want to. It's all virtual. John, you got to bring your Kansas City and Missouri friends to the conference. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big thank you to Sarah Langley for putting this on all the time. And thank you to John Stafford for being here tonight. John, you were awesome. I really appreciate you being here. You're just one of those guys who is so fun to watch, follow along, and the successes of your world. And I'm so happy for you and so proud of you. And so keep kicking ass, man. You do what you do.
Thanks, man. Hey, is Stephanie
Absolutely.
Trump still the president, Minnesota?
What's that?
Is Stephanie Trump still the president, Minnesota ACDA?
President-elect of ACDA Minnesota. Yep, she was
President-elect?
president, and now she's president-elect of ACDA.
Oh, that's cool. Tell her I said hello. She's
I will
awesome.
do so.
Yeah,
I will do so.
I
She
just
is
met her
awesome.
last spring, so she's awesome. So yeah,
That's
cool.
fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
hey man, take us out on a Beer Choir theme song note tonight, and again, special thanks to Sarah and special thanks to John for being here. It's been fun to see you all this summer for the Beer Choir virtual happy hours. And John, take it away.
Here we go. Do do do. Here we go. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. The beer choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. So bottoms up, cheers! Let's sing while drinking beer. So bottoms up, cheers! Let's sing while drinking beer. The big choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. The big choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. The big choir is the choir that sings while drinking beer. So bottoms up, cheers! Let's sing while drinking beer choir.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Y'all are awesome. Sarah, you're awesome. John, you're awesome. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good one. We'll